and once again everybody, it is me, Base Jalarin, and I'm here once again with another video, and today we have my January haul. I decided to make it all one haul instead of splitting it up into a couple of videos, and not gonna lie, I bought a lot of shit this month, and I'm kind of regretting it, because this is gonna be a slog. But that's kind of my own fault, so we're just going to get started, and we are actually going to start with some light novels. I didn't get a lot, I never really do, but I did get some, and those are Neko Monogatari, Black, and Restart Magical Girl Raising Project. It's not, like, technically Volume 2, I mean, it is, but it's like its own thing that happens afterward, I guess. But I haven't gotten to any of these. I haven't really got a lot of time to read lately. Been a very, very busy person. But yeah, those are the two light novels I got this month. I also got some art books this month. Not a lot, like I just said, but I did get a few. And the first one is The Art of Magic the Gathering Ixalan. Honestly, I haven't been as hyped for Ixalan as everybody else has. It's probably my low point in Magic the Gathering involvement, but I got it. I got it mostly to spoil myself with the story, and the world building in here is exceptionally good, as it usually is. But the story part of the art book, where they kind of like tell you the story that happens within the Ixalan block, is kind of not as fleshed out as the other art books have been. Not that I'm gonna lie, these are always really great books, and I don't know about the future for these, because Magic the Gathering is doing away with blocks, and instead we're just going to have sets all the time, and sometimes I don't think there's going to be enough content to make a whole art book for, but I really hope they continue to make these, because if they don't make an art book for Theros, I will probably die. Next up we have this fucking box! I'm just fucking kidding, it's not the box, it's what's inside the box, and what is inside the box is The Sky, the Art of Final Fantasy. This is a collection of 3 art books going up to, I think, Final Fantasy X. I got this for my husband for Christmas, or his birthday, I forget which one. They kind of happen, like, side by side. But this is not the original print. The original print, the Japanese one, went out of print way fast, but this is the reprint by Dark Horse, which, once again, fuck Dark Horse and their manga nonsense, but Dark Horse really comes in fucking clutch when it comes to art books, so yeah. It's not for what it has, which is this really, really nice, like, fabric, like, box, and 3 hardcover full-color art books. It's going on Amazon for, it's so heavy, that's why I'm out of breath. This is going for, like, $45 on Amazon, which, for what you're getting, is actually a pretty fucking good deal. So if you have, like, $50 on you, and you feel like scratching that Final Fantasy itch, pick up The Sky while you still can. As now it's time to move on to the actual manga part of the manga haul. So before we get into the manga, I just need to mention that a lot of these series have already been probably spoiled by my 2018 manga collection tour, but I decided not to go into detail so I could talk about them here. So if you see a volume that you already saw, it was something I picked up in January, but something that was within my collection when I filmed the collection tour. And I'm gonna start off with all of my used stuff that I bought from, like, Second & Charles and Amazon, mostly Second & Charles. But the first thing I got is, I've had this series on my shopping list, my wish list on Amazon for a really long time, because I was really interested in it, because it looked interesting, because that's how I do. I find things that look interesting regardless of the content. And that would be this series called Robot Supercolor Comic. What this is it's a collection of short stories and ongoing series that are collected within these books, and it's kind of like a serialization where, like, every single one, they got, like, a chapter for a certain thing or a one-shot. Like, it's either, like, ongoing stuff or it's one-shots in here, and they're really, really nice. They are full color and very fucking heavy. Why do I keep on picking up this heavy shit? God damn it. But, yeah. A lot of artists, like, contribute to this, and it's just really fucking cool. And once I show the covers to you, I kind of gotta flip through some art, because these are really nice. And this is volume 1. Volume 2. Volume 3. And volume 4. Like, it's really kind of unfortunate because these are so cool. They have like such a mix of artwork from different artists in here, and they're full color, and it's just really, really nice. But this series changed hands during its printing. The first 3 were printed by DMP, and 4 and 5 were printed by Udon Entertainment, who are not to be relied on when it comes to continuing a series. I've seen them, like, put out, like, 1 or 2 volumes of a thing, and then they just kind of, like, vanish for some reason. Udon Entertainment is a mystery to me, but Udon Entertainment only published up to volume 5, and it is a 10-volume series, so we, here in the States, only got half of the series, which is really kind of sad, considering I already sank my money into this series. But I might as well pick up volume 5 when I can, just for the sake of completion, because despite the fact that it's unfinished, it is a really cool and interesting series. Next up, we have Kanazuki no Miko, volumes 1 and 2. This was another thing that I've kind of been looking at for a really long time and considering buying. It's kind of a Yuri. It's got them crazy Yuri themes. It definitely, I would consider this a Yuri, but not in like the way like Girlfriends or like Bloom into You is a Yuri. This is some kind of weird middle ground between an actual Yuri and Murcielago, which has a lesbian in it, but it's not really Yuri. And just a little, like, heads up, though, if you're interested in getting this just for the sake of getting a Yuri, it's not really graphic, but it's a very intentional kind of really, like, gross rape scene right in the middle, at the end of volume 1, at the beginning of volume 2, and it kind of, my cats are fucking fighting, and it is not good. Never a good time for a rape scene, honestly, so if that kind of puts you off, I would avoid Kanazuki no Miko, but if you are not really okay with rape, but if you can stand rape being within the media you consume, then Kanazuki no Miko is the kind of Yuri for you. Next up, we have something that is pretty interesting, and that would be Manga Sutra, otherwise known as Futari H. And I got volume 1 and volume 2. I do not know if these are anthology series where they kind of pick and chose what they decided to put in each volume, or if these are 2-in-1s, because they're pretty darn thick, as you can tell. But this is a manga about fucking. Like, it's a hentai, but it's an educational hentai. It is here to teach you how to have a good and proper fuck. Weird, huh? But yeah, this is about a couple, like a newlywed couple, and they're both virgins, and it's about their first forays into the world of just having some good and sexy fun times. And I don't know how many volumes are published altogether in the States, but I know there are 4 of them, and the 3rd one is mildly expensive, and the 4th one is wildly expensive, so you might see those, but don't count on it. These are just really interesting to have within a collection. I decided to pick them up. uniquely enough, Volume 1 actually came in a box. Like, this is the actual manga. This is a box. And I don't know why it fucking came in a box. Maybe it was to prevent people from reading it. Because I guess plastic wrap just wasn't cutting it. But this actually came with a free aphrodisiac recipe. It's a little card in here. If you feel like copying that down, I'm going to hold this still for a little while so you too can make whatever the fuck this is, but it's an aphrodisiac, so have fun. I have no idea if that was in focus. I'm sorry, guys. Next up, we have Pipo Volumes 1 and 2, because I'm a fucking idiot. Now, Base, why would you be an idiot for picking up Pipo Volumes 1 and 2? You want to know why I'm a fucking idiot for picking up Pipo Volumes 1 and 2? Because the third is a fucking expensive motherfucker. And I got these at 2nd and Charles, and I thought, like, oh, they have Volumes 1 and 2. I'll just buy the third online. And so I picked them up, and then I went to look on Amazon, and it's like, holy mother of Christ. So, yeah, I'm kind of stuck with Volumes 1 and 2, unless I plan on tossing them out, but it's a good story, so I can't bring myself to do that. But I guess this just means that I'm just gonna wait for luck to grace me one day and happen upon it, because that's probably the only way I will ever get my hands on Volume 3, because it is mad fucking expensive, and I'm a fool. Next, we have Mail, Volume 1. This is a manga written and illustrated by the guy who illustrated Kurosaki Corpse Delivery Service, which everybody says is boring as crap, but I actually enjoyed it, so I figured I'd pick up Mail, and I was actually introduced to Mail from the live-action TV drama, which is actually really fucking bad, but that's how I found out about Mail, and I finally have the manga. It is a 3-volume manga series, so it's not going to be hard to pick up, and they're not very rare. So I might as well get on that and experience Mail in the form of not a shitty TV drama. Next up, we have something really interesting, and it's something that I didn't really know existed, and I don't know if there's any more of. And these would be these two, which are part of an imprint from Tokyo Pop called Passionfruit. You can tell that they're like from the same imprint. There's the Passionfruit logo on the bottom. I have no fucking idea what Passionfruit is supposed to convey, because the way that Tokyo Pop describes it on the back is really unreliable, and it is an innovative, edgy line of manga which reflects on the emotional condition of humanity in its moment of creation and procreation, which all I get out of that is that there's going to be some edgy fucks in here, and but it's from an imprint I never knew existed, and I'm just interested in reading. Maybe it's more adult stories. I don't know. We have Sweet and Honey by Mario Kazaki, and Galaxy Girl Panda Boy by Junko Kawakami, who is a manga author that I am not familiar with. But yeah, can't wait to get into those, see what's up with whatever the fuck Passionfruit is. Next up, I picked up R.A.P. Requiem and Phony Brain, which is another manga by Mitsukazu Mihara. And this one, it's a standalone volume, but instead of it being a collection of short stories, it's just one long story, just collected into one volume. The copy that I have, unfortunately, I don't know if you can tell, but the spine has been sun-bleached real fucking bad. But I'm trying not to care. But yeah, I hear it's not as good as I See in a Sunflower and Beautiful People, but it's not bad. So I'm gonna get into this, and I'm gonna see what I think of it. I have a totally random volume of something that I found that I just thought was, do you ever see something and you have no idea what the fuck it is, but it just fits your aesthetics, and you're like, I don't know what that is, but it's mine now? This is definitely one of those pickups, and that would happen to be Angel Dust, a series I've never heard of. But look at that fucking cover. Like, holy shit. That is some nice art, and that is what sold me on this. It's a single volume manga, so it's not like it's a money sink or anything. But I really hope it wasn't a waste of money, but it wasn't a lot of money to waste, so angel dust. Next up, we have the obligatory volumes that are being added for my manga completion challenge for this year. And the first one is Inuyasha volumes 1 and 2. And Gangsta volume 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, which makes me almost caught up with the series. I just need to buy volumes 6 and 7, and I'll be all caught up and ready to fucking go on this shit whenever the heck that decides to, pick back up. And next we have, like, miscellaneous volumes that aren't all that old, that I didn't buy used, that were kind of impulsy, sort of, because that's just what I fucking do. I buy random fucking shit for no reason. The first one is One Punch Man Volume 4, the obligatory one, because I have to buy it now, because of my husband. But it's not like I hate One Punch Man, I'm just not a big fan of just Shonen Jump stuff, but One Punch Man is okay. So I got Volume 4, once again a series I'm not planning on collecting very fast, but I'm planning on collecting. Next we have an all-in-one, which is Antonacci Academy, the 35th Test Platoon, the Complete Missions, which I think is a 2-in-1, and it's based off a light novel, and it kind of looks like every single other light novel that exists out there. We got, like, the cool every dude with the black hair, and we got the main love interest, I guess. But it's an all-in-one. And the art seems okay, and it seems like an interesting premise, so I figured I'd pick it up. And if it's bad, no harm, no foul. It's an all-in-one. Next, we have something that I only got because Barnes & Noble was still doing that buy 2 get 1 free sale. And that would be Nekogahara Stray Cat Samurai, which is by the author who did Shaman King. That's it, Shaman King. And since Shaman King has been licensed by Kodansha and we might be seeing it again, I figured I'd pick up something else by the author just to, just to get a taste, get a taste for what this guy can do. And I fucking love cats. Even though I'm not a big fan of the samurai genre, I like cats, and that definitely overrides my dislike of samurai manga. So I got Volume 1, Volume 2, and Volume 3, which is up to date. This appears to be a manga that is updating very slowly, which is good for me because I hate spending a lot of money all in 1 month, all in 1 day. So any manga that has a slow update cycle is a friend of mine. Next, we finally have the brand new series that came out this month. And just so you know, I've ordered 2 manga that are not here right now, which is Welcome to the Ballroom Volume 9, which is coming in the mail today, but it's not here right now. And the second one was Nameless Astrum, which is a Yuri that was supposed to come out this month. And I pre-ordered it, but I must have pre-ordered it too soon because it is completely out of stock on Amazon, which is bizarre as hell. But it must be a really good Yuri, so it's worth waiting for, I think, if that happened. So, but the ones that I have with me right now are To Love Ru, Volumes 3 and 4. I haven't read Volumes 1 and 2, so I can't tell you much about this one. Next we have Spirit Circle, Volume 2. An ongoing theme of this is that I also haven't read this one either, but I'm planning on it, and I'm very, very looking forward to it because I fucking love this series, and it's fucking great, and I can't wait to continue on with that. Next we have Nurse Hitomi's Monster Infirmary. I've kind of flipped through this one. I fucking love the art in this. Like, there's, like, I can't really describe it. I don't know what it is, but I think it's just the way the characters are drawn. I like the shape of their faces. I like the detail that the author puts into certain things. And just the character design style. It's just really, really interesting. And, I can't wait to dig into this one. Next we have the hypest of hypes, and that would be Orange Future, which is the epilogue to Orange, and I haven't read it, but my husband has, and he said it was a emotional roller coaster of a ride, so I will ready my tissue box and prepare for the feels. Next up we have the Bloody Bloody Murcielago Volume 5. Still haven't gotten to this one. I'm falling behind on Murcielago. Next up we have Mobile Suit Gundam Wing Endless We have Mobile Suit Gundam Wing Endless Waltz Glory of the Losers Volume 4. I was not aware that this one was going to come out this month, but then I found it at a random bookstore, and I was like, shit. Another volume that I am falling behind on, which is this one, which is really unfortunate. I really need to pick up on this series, because there's really not much I can say. We have Miss Kobayashi's Dragon Maid Kana's Daily Life. But yeah, it's by a different person, and it is a 4-coma, and I fucking love Kana. Not in like a fetishy, ooh, look at the lolly way. I just like her aesthetic. She is the cutest fucking little cupcake ever, and I just fucking love Kana so much, so I'm really glad that there's a manga dedicated to just her, because she is the fucking best, and I love her. Next up we have, I don't know if it's Juwanna or if the J is silent, so it's Wanna, but for now I'm just going to call it Juwanna and the Dragon Newt's 7 Kingdoms, which to my understanding, if I'm remembering correctly, is published in the same magazine as The Ancient Magus' Bride and The Girl from the Other Side, so it has the same sort of themes. It's a little girl in kind of like a magical fantasy world. I haven't really gotten into this. I've kind of flipped through it a couple of times, but I haven't really read it. All I know is that the little girl speaks like Spanish or something close to Spanish. That's all I know. That's all I can give to you guys today. I'm sorry. But yeah, this looks like it's going to be really interesting, and if you are a fan of The Ancient Magus' Bride or The Girl from the Other Side, this might be something you also might want to look into, because it probably has similar themes. Next up we have Imperfect Girl, Volume 2, the second to last volume in the series. We're getting dark in this one, I feel. Next volume is when, like, everything is revealed, so right now everything's still kind of in, like, sort of mystery, but we're starting to figure out that, something not quite kosher is happening to this poor little girl, and we are going to find out probably in Volume 3, whenever that comes out. Next we have High School Life of Fidanchi. Still haven't gotten into this one, but it looks like there's some cosplaying nonsense. But other than that, it's just fun Fujoshi Fidanchi shit, which, you know, it's always good. It's always fun. It's always good shit. Next up we have Dream and Sun, Volume 5, the halfway point in this series. I believe there's going to be 10 volumes. Next we have Children of the Whales, Volume 2. Haven't gotten into this one, but I am very, 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 very excited to continue on with this, because I loved the first volume, and it ended on, like, the craziest of shit, so I can't wait to see where this series is going to go next. Next up we have Seventh Garden, Volume 7. Seventh Garden, Volume 7, and this one, actually, we finally, like, get, like, a concrete description of what the fuck has been going on these last 7 volumes. I obviously can't tell you what that is, because it's huge fucking spoilers, and if you read this series, then you'll probably not want to hear it if you haven't read it already, but I've been so confused about what's been going on. Like, I had, like, a sort of idea about what was going on, but I didn't really know exactly what was going on, like, 100%. But this one finally explains, and I'm gonna go, I feel like going back and reading the rest of this, like, the series from, like, the beginning, now that I have a lot of context about what the fuck. So, yeah, Volume 7 of 7th Garden. Next, we have Maiden Abyss, Volume 1. I was really, really worried about this release because I was afraid that it was going to be in Seven Seas' normal format. And I was really afraid that Maiden Abyss, which is a really great story, was going to be published in these tiny little books. But it's in Seven Seas' oversized edition, which is really, really great, and I really, really appreciate it. Funny fucking shit on the back. Now I hit your series on Anime Strike. Not something you're going to be able to say from now on, considering Anime Strike no longer exists. And another thing, I don't think my camera is going to be able to pick this up, but the entire manga appears to be, like, I think they synthesized toned paper. Like, if you've ever, like, drawn on toned paper, like gray toned paper, and it, like, the paper isn't textured, but it looks like it has a texture. Like, if you have this manga, you'll know what the fuck I'm talking about, but I don't know if my camera can even pick this up. I don't know, it's probably not picking it up, but it looks like it, I think it's intentionally made to look like it was drawn on gray toned paper, and that is really fucking cool. I really like that. I really like that aesthetic. That's really nice. So yeah, can't wait to get into this one. Fucking really excited. Next we have Fire Punch Volume 1, aka I should have listened to Apollo Gray when he said that this was bad. Like, if your tastes are this manga, if you like this manga, good for you. I don't really care if you like it. I'm not gonna, like, hate on you because you like Fire Punch. You're not less of a human because you like Fire Punch. But it's not the manga for me. I don't like manga that just do edgy shit for the sake of being edgy and cool. And this manga is the very definition of, it has a cool premise, but then it does really fucking gross edgy shit just for the sake of doing gross edgy shit to stand out, I feel. And it really drags down the series for me because it just takes me right the fuck out of reading this really cool and interesting world. And this really neat series as, like, a base. But, just so many gross things happen in this one alone. And it's just, stop, Fire Punch, stop. I'm gonna pick up Volume 2. But if Volume 2 either doubles down on or has the same amount of just gross, edgy nonsense, I'm probably gonna drop this series because gross, edgy nonsense is not for me. Has to have a point. There was no point in the piss drinking. There was no point in the piss drinking. We have Frau Faust, Volume 3. We learn a bit about Faust's past in this one and her relation to other characters. Yeah, it continues to be really interesting. It's not as, like, slice of lifey and, like, really in-depth world building like The Ancient Magus' Bride, but it still has the same appeal, and if you haven't picked this up yet, I definitely highly recommend it if you like The Ancient Magus' Bride. And finally, we have, everybody was hyped for the Splatoon manga, but I've never played Splatoon, so I wasn't really hyped for it. But I was hyped for this. I was super fucking hyped for this. I was super excited when I saw that. Like, I check up on, like, Viz's, like, release schedule when they have, like, a new month posted. I, like, jump on that shit. And I've been excited for this for months, and that would be Ruby. Now, I am garbage, and I fucking love the shit out of Ruby. Weiss is best girl. Fucking fight me. But I've been aware of this manga for quite a long time. I always knew they would probably publish it here in the States because it's fucking Ruby. But I read the Weiss chapters, but that's all I ever read. Because I knew for a fact they were probably going to bring it over here, so I didn't want to spoil it for myself. And now that it's here, and I'm so fucking excited, and I just love, love, love this. This is so fucking great. I think it's by the same artist who did Dogs, Bullets, and Carnage. Don't quote me on that. But the first, like, couple of, like, several chapters are just a retelling of the introduction trailers that we got at the very beginning of RWBY, like, that introduced the characters and stuff. And the last two are, like, a really cool, like, fight scene. And I'm just so fucking hyped. I love this. I love this so much. I love this manga, and I'm so glad it's finally here. I've been waiting so long. I've been waiting so long. And yeah, that is my entire haul for the month of January. I will be seeing you in the next video, whenever that may be, but I'm trying to put them out more, so we'll see when that is. So until then, I wish you all a good day.